Welcome to the Show Day podcast for June 30th, 2019. Last night we had 3 shows, one in Pasadena, one in Rockford, Illinois, and then another up in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I'll recap that and take a look ahead to tonight's 2 events. That plus more today on the Show Day podcast. So, Drum Corps at the Rose Bowl, open class scores here in general effect. Gold first, Golden Empire second, Vessel third, Watchman fourth, Impulse was fifth, and Incognito was sixth. Impulse is not listed here. They are not on DCI's website, so I take this directly from there, so unfortunately I don't have much to say about them because of how they're not listed. Go over to visual. Gold, Golden Empire, Vessel, Watchman, Impulse, Incognito again. Visual analysis, no mixing up there, but color guard does get a little interesting. Gold gets first, Vessel second, Golden Empire third, Incognito jumps up to fourth, Watchman fifth, and then Impulse falls down to sixth. So overall visual, Gold at a 16.75, and then you see the rest here. Saw this one on Flow Marching last night. Gold looked pretty good, and so did Golden Empire. I'm just talking about those two because those are the two that are going to DCI World Championships. Gold, I would not be surprised for them to win World Class Champion, or not World Class Championships, Open Class Championships. They did look pretty good. There's still some visual music stuff to figure out, but they did seem pretty good last night. Over in music, Gold, all ones. Golden Empire, all twos. Watchman does jump ahead of Vessel in analysis and in percussion. Small margins, 2 3/10 there. And then Impulse, pretty much all 5s. And then Incognito, 6s. So overall totals at this one, Gold a 55.7, Golden Empire 52.65. Vessel 49.75, Watchman 46.95, and then Incognito a 40.85. Over World Class, a lot to break down here. Let's just look at general effect first. You got Vanguard 6/10 up on the Blue Devils last evening. That's where a lot of their deficit comes from. The Blue Devils to Santa Clara Vanguard, because Vanguard only wins by 4/10, and 6/10 of that comes in general effect. Everybody else pretty much settles in G. I mean, everybody does. But those two really the big storyline in general effect. Everybody takes their respective placements there. Visual. The Blue Devils are good in visual. Visual proficiency, they get first, Vanguard second, Cavaliers third, and the Mandarins jump the Blue Knights in visual proficiency. We've seen the Mandarins be good in visual in their upward climb over the past few seasons. We've seen them really visually is why they've been doing so well, and they keep that up at this one last night. Academy 6th in proficiency, Pacific Crest gets 7th. They were 4/10 ahead of the Troopers, who were 8th, and then Genesis down to 9th. Visual analysis, just a few things to point out here. Blue Devils again over Vanguard by 1/10. Mandarins jump the Blue Knights here as well. It's a 4/10 advantage for the Mandarins over BK in analysis. And then over in color guard, Vanguard only can gain a 10th back to the rest of their deficit in visual. So 15.8 for Vanguard, a 15.7 for the Blue Devils. Overall visuals a 23.95 for Vanguard, and then the Blue Devils break 24 at a 24.1. So, sure, the Blue Devils win visual, but what does that mean for their overall score? I'll get to that in just a moment. Going down the line here, really, color guard all settles in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's all how it is. And then when you look at total visual, Blue Devils jump Vanguard, Cavaliers are third, Mandarins a 22.25 to the Blue Knights 21.8. 6th place is the Academy, 7th is Troopers, and then Pacific Crest, they tie for 7th, and then Genesis down at 9th. So I said, how does the Blue Devils' advantage in visual contribute to their overall score? Well, music is also a strong point for the Blue Devils last night. They finally recovered in brass after losing to the Cavaliers in their first 3 matchups of the season. Vanguard first in brass by 1/10 over the Blue Devils, and then the Blue Devils 2/10 over the Cavaliers in brass. Analysis, Blue Devils up 3/10 to Vanguard. And then you have to go back 7/10 to the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are not extremely strong in music last night, as we've seen them so far this season. Percussion, of course, goes to Vanguard. We've pretty much always seen that, no matter if they were at the top or not. 15-4 for Vanguard in percussion, 15-3 for the Blue Devils. Overall music goes to the Blue Devils. So really, music, visual goes to the Blue Devils, but because Vanguard won General Effect by 6/10, that is why they win this show. 78.55 for Vanguard, 78.15 for the Blue Devils. Cavaliers pretty much all thirds here, 75.85 final score when you add them all together. Blue Knights good in music. Manhurns have somewhat struggled in music over the past year. They've kind of stalled too in overall score. Blue Knights good score, 72.9, but the Manhurns is 71.85. They've got to break through to a 72 tonight. And then going down to Academy 6s. Troopers do get passed by Pacific Crest in analysis. I was very genuinely surprised by Pacific Crest. They had a really good show, and it's really the best show I've ever seen from them. That's saying something since it's June still. So I'm very excited to see how that show develops, actually. And then Genesis down there with 9. So really, lots of matchups to watch here. Blue Knights Mandarins definitely is going to get interesting. Vanguard Blue Devils, of course, is interesting. And then down at the bottom, Troopers, Pacific Crest. How are they going to fare the rest of the season as they compete against each other? Second show, East Coast Class, Spartans versus 7th Regiment in open class. Spartans win the show by 7 points, not to mention they scored a 59.3. So those are the 2 big takeaways from this one, because as an open class score, almost breaking 60 in your first event, that's a good thing. And I again would not be surprised to see the Spartans win the open class championships in August. Of course, they've probably got a lot more of the show to do and a lot more developing in the production to do, but I definitely like what they've their scoring so far this season in their first show. And 7th Regiment, a little disappointing, I'd say. 1 to be 7 points back, but 2 to get a 52.35. 7th Regiment always starts off kind of slow, though, and then they always end up jumping up in the rankings as the season goes on. So I definitely think that 7th Regiment will get better, though. In World Class Bluecoats, they win General Effect. Boston Crusaders second. That's a 9/10 advantage for Bluecoats there. And really, that's why Boston's not doing so well, because they cannot get their General Effect scores up so far. The Cadets a 29.7 in General Effects, and then Music City a 24.7. Over in visual, proficiency analysis go as is, and then color guard, Boston Crusaders up by 10 over the Bluecoats, a 16 even to a 15.7. Not enough for Boston to grab overall visual, though. Bluecoats still win by a 10th, 23.9 to a 23.8 for the Boston Crusaders. Cadets at a 22.05, and City at an 18.45. And then in music, Bluecoats really do well here in music. And Boston, brass is good for them. Percussion is seeming to be a little bit of a struggle. The cadets have jumped them for their last 3 shows in Pittsburgh, Allentown, and now in Lawrence. They've jumped them every time. 15-6 to a 15-4 for the Cadets in percussion at this one over Boston. Overall music, 23.9 for the Bluecoats, 23.35 for the Boston Crusaders, 22.7 for the Cadets, and then 19.65 for Music City in overall music. The show of shows was the third and final DCI event last night. Colt Cadets, they were the only open class score at this one in Rockford. So 47.5 is a bit of an increase from last week. They definitely seem to be in a little bit of better shape this season as well than in the past. And then in world class, general effect, that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not much to talk about there. Visual, break it down into the 3 sub-captions. Proficiency, not much to talk about ranking-wise. Analysis, Spirit of Atlanta does jump the Crossman, and it's not by a small margin. 7/10 ahead for Spirit, a 14-1 to a 13-4. And then you have to go back to Phantom at a 12.9. Visual is Phantom's problem this season. General effect is a bit of an issue for them too, but really these visual numbers, they still haven't broken 13 in a sub-caption, which is something you can't be doing right now. Color guard, Crown was only a 10th ahead of the Blue Stars, that is, in Muncie. The Blue Stars 1.1 back in this one. They get third. Crossman actually passed them too, so that was really not much of a storyline, just one show, and that I'm sure is a judging thing as well. That's probably not anything to do with performance. Crown first in guard, second to the Crossman, 14-8 as I said, and then 14-7 for the Blue Stars. Phantom Regiment does jump Spirit of Atlanta, and Phantom's been struggling a little bit in color guard, so this is a good thing for them that they finally passed Spirit, and they continue to do so in some other things. 13-8 for Phantom, 13-6 for Spirit. Madison also passes the Colts in color guard, and not by a small margin, 7/10 there. Overall visual goes to Crown, obviously, 23.2. Blue Stars a 21.8. Crossman in third with a 21.35. Spirit of Atlanta, 20.75. Phantom Regiment in fifth with a 20.15. Madison Scouts finished sixth with a 19.85. And the Colts a 19.45 in seventh. In music, brass, analysis, percussion goes to Crown. Jump back to brass for a second. Blue Stars, second. They're 8/10 back of Crown in brass. And then you have to go 2/10 behind the Blue Stars to get to the Crossman. Phantom, another strong point at this show, a 14.2 in brass to Spirits 14.1. The Colts then 13.5 and Madison 13.1. Music analysis, only big thing here is Spirit of Atlanta over the Crossman by a 10th. So Spirit, even though they fall behind Phantom in brass, they do jump ahead of the Crossman in analysis. And then in percussion, Carolina Crown, then Blue Stars, then Crossman, again, struggle in percussion, back down to 6th at this one. Phantom jumps up to 3rd. That's really been their strongest caption overall. And then that contributes to the overall caption of music, a pretty good result. 4th place in percussion is the Colts, 5th Spirit, 6th Crossman, and 7th Madison. So, what does that mean? Music, Crown first, Blue Star second, Phantom actually up to 3rd here. This, I would say, has been this is their best event of the season to date so far, with jumping close to Spirit, they beat the Crossman in percussion, just good signs here, and not falling down, I should say, to where the Colts and Madison are. I think that's the big thing that comes out of this show. So, overall, totals, Crown 78.3, Blue Star 73.95, 71.6 for the Crossman in 3rd, 70.15 for Spirit of Atlanta, 69.2, just less than a point behind Spirit is Phantom Regiment, 67 even for the Colts and 65-2 for the Madison Scouts. Last drum corps show last night was DCA event, the BARNUM Festival Champions on Parade event in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The Caballeros, they win everything here, a 76.15 final score. The White Sabres second with a 72.4. Little less than 3 points back was the Connecticut Hurricanes, and staying within that 69-point range. Hurricanes 69.7, Fusion Quarry 69.05, and then the Sunrisers are all fives here with a 61.25. Tonight, Sunday, June 30th, we've got two shows, as I said earlier, River City Rhapsody in Rochester, Minnesota. Up first, this one gets underway 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Got two Sound Sport performances to kick off the night, Minnesota Brass and Chops, two corps from the Minnesota area. Both of them tried to put together a DCA program for the season, but both had recruitment issues and financial issues and just a variety of stuff that they said, okay, it's going to be smarter for us to go to Sound Sport than be in DCA, and also they can compete in more regional events here in Sound Sport, where they're going across the country to New York, or Pennsylvania now, I guess, Williamsport for championship. After those two perform, we've got the Colt Cadets in open class, and then all world class from the previous two nights in Muncie and in Rockford, except for Carolina Crown. Carolina Crown's show last night in Rockford marks their last event until this upcoming Friday, their home show in Lexington, Crown Beat. So expect a lot new stuff to come into Crown's show by next week. I would not be surprised for their scores to also jump a whole ton. As I said, 6 of those 7 corps, though, at this show, Madison, and then Spirit, and then go ahead there, Colts, Crossman, Phantom, and Blue Stars to round out the evening. Just a few notes on this one. It's at the Rochester Regional Stadium in Rochester, Minnesota. The River City Rhapsody series, that is Blue Stars hosting events. They do 2 or 3 of these a year. Weather for this one is looking good. There is hot. There's heat advisory in effect until 9 p.m. There were some strong storms also that moved through this morning. There's also a chance of rain during the event. There's like a 40% chance of rain early in the event. So I definitely think we'll get this one done. It's just a matter of does everything go according to plan so far. Second show tonight is the Western Corps Connection event in San Bernardino, California. These are the same 15 corps as last night in Pasadena. So this one gets underway at 4:30 Pacific time with the Welcome and National Anthem. 4:40 p.m. is the Marching Ghosts, a Sound Sport group from Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada. 4:55, The Watchmen. 5:10, Impulse. 5:25, Vessel. They'll be followed by Incognito, Golden Empire, and Gold. 6:25, there'll be an intermission for about 30 minutes. And then at 6:55, Genesis takes the field. They're from Austin, Texas. 7:13, Pacific Crest. They're followed by Troopers, Academy, Mandarins, Blue Knights, Cavaliers, Santa Clara Vanguard, and the Blue Devils will round out the evening in San Bernardino. 9:37, there will be an encore. And then just before 10 o'clock Pacific time, scores will be announced from San Bernardino. What to watch for here? Can the Blue Devils defeat Santa Clara Vanguard? They are performing after them. They've got the better performance slot tonight. Can the Blue Devils take advantage of that and possibly win their first show of the season and give Santa Clara Vanguard their first loss? Just like the big thing to look for tonight. Also, the Blue Knights and Mandarins, does the Mandarins close in? Do the Blue Knights separate themselves a little bit more? So, just really the big things to talk about tonight, and also Pacific Crest and Troopers. I'd like to see Pacific Crest come closer to the Troopers. The Troopers are okay musically, but I like Pacific Crest show. I'm just going to say that now. This show is for connected to San Bernardino Valley College. The weather for this one, hot. Pasadena and Vista, the two previous shows this weekend in California, have been kind of cool and not totally scorching, but this one is up in the 90s and 80s as the show goes on. Very, very nice weather conditions, though, for San Bernardino tonight. So, thanks for watching the podcast today. Just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours, scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on numerous social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Drum Corps Geek, and subscribe to the Show Day podcast on YouTube. And finally, leave your thoughts in the comment sections. Questions, inputs, comments, etc. would all be greatly appreciated. So thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a recap of the two events tonight and a look ahead to tomorrow night's event. Thank you for watching, as I said, and have a great rest of your day.